What up, though? What's up, Detroit Lions fans? What's good with you? Welcome to a special live stream. Let me blow up the chat real quick. Man, I need a dedicated window for my chat. Okay. Let me pop this out. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? All right, shout out to Marco's World. What up? Hey, Marco, you need a new team now, my brother. You need another new team, man. What up, private Lions fan? Lions Talk with Cam. What up, what up? If we don't get him, we might as well pray for a better guy or a slight downgrade. Daniel Berry, happy Monday. And the D in the building. Excuse me, what's up? We've been new this. Old news, says Cassandra. No, it's not. It's not old news. Okay? So both of y'all want to try again. All right. Both of y'all want to try again. Okay. So since we got some smart Alex up in here, both of y'all been new to this. Well, let me tell you something you didn't know. Yes. Hostage, 2 R's, my brother. 2 R's. 2 R's, my friend. But hey, that's close enough. All right, so we got some breaking news, man. Since we got some know-it-alls in the comment section that said y'all been new this, did you now? Did you now? Because this just dropped within the last hour and 1 minute. So since it's old news and you've been new, well, for those of you who didn't know, let me tell you, you guys can see it from the banner below that Mike McDaniel is to interview for the Detroit Lions as for their new offensive coordinator job. Now, let me just go backtrack a little bit. Kelvin Shepard has been interviewed by the Miami Dolphins as the token black guy. Everybody knows that he is not going to get that job. The Rooney Rule, is good as the intent is, it doesn't matter. Nobody really cares it. There are teams that can just forsake it if they want to, and there's a penalty that they have to incur, but they can say skip it if they want to. So that tells you all you need to know about that rule. But Kelvin Shepard, I hope everything works out for him eventually. But Mike McDaniels, what a Mike McDaniel, what a week it's been. 1 week ago, the Detroit Lions got in front of the media, Dan Campbell, in his final appearance as head coach this season, and he said that some things needed to change. On Tuesday, we fired offensive coordinator Johnny Morton, and the Lions brought in David Blau a few days later. David Blau his services were retained by the Washington Commanders. Okay, good for him. Hopefully everything works out. He is now their new OC with the departure of Cliff Kingsbury. Mike McDaniel, at this time, still had a job. He was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. On Thursday, he was fired. And we immediately talked about how he would be, from a schematic standpoint, the perfect fit for the Detroit Lions. Well, in that time, a lot has occurred in pretty much the entire weekend. So Mike McDaniel went from Thursday morning, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, to Thursday evening, he was not the head coach. He has multiple head coaching jobs, interviews that he's going to have if he haven't had any already. And the news that we have, first and foremost, this was from earlier this afternoon, and this is probably what the smart Alex in the comment section were talking about when they said it was old news. It says former Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel will interview this week with the Browns, Falcons, Titans, and Ravens for their head coaching job. McDaniel is also scheduled to interview for the Lions offensive coordinator job. One of the NFL's top offensive minds is in high demand, and that is correct. So as you can see from that tweet, that was the last information that you guys heard. Well, here is the current information from Ian Rappaport, one of his comrades. Mike McDaniel will interview for the Lions OC job tomorrow, and that is the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. A potential big fish for Dan Campbell. Now, why is this big news? This is big news because our coach is not playing around. Now, you can give Brad Holmes all the credit you want. Oh, he's not going to make a hire without talking to Brad Holmes and all that stuff. Probably not. But do you think he needs Brad Holmes' permission to hire Mike McDaniel or Aaron Glenn or any other OC or DC or coaching person he wants to? Absolutely not. That's not how that works. Dan Campbell does not need his permission to do any of those things. So Mike McDaniel, but I'm going to tell you why this is a big deal for the Detroit Lions. As you can see from the screenshot, Mike McDaniel has an interview for the head coaching job of the Browns, Falcons, Titans, and Ravens head coaching job. And with the Lions now trying to expedite the interview process, I think that they want to get to him before he gets to the other coaching, the other teams get to him for head coaching positions. Now, he still will no doubt interview with those teams. There's no doubt about it. He'll interview with those teams and he'll make a decision after that. But just like our former offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel must wait to the right time to get in the right situation. So the fact that because he's not interviewing with the Titans until Wednesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Lions wanted to snag this guy up. Now, I was on Twitter on record saying that if he does not take a head coaching job elsewhere, he will be the next general manager. I'm sorry. You can see where my mind is at. He will be the next offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. This is too good of an opportunity to pass up for the Detroit Lions. So they're trying to bring him in before that he finishes his circuit. He wants to put it, they don't want to be last. They don't want to be after the head coaching circuit. They want to be before most of it, or at the very least during it. Now, this is a big deal that the Lions have reached out, that the Lions have scheduled an interview, but that Mike McDaniel has accepted that interview before he interviewed with the Titans. Mike McDaniel understands that this is a premier situation to get in, just like our former offensive coordinator was coveted for the next couple of, for the prior couple of years. He was the hottest coaching candidate. The Detroit Lions are going to be a coveted OC position. You have Jahmyr Gibbs, St. Brown, Jameson Williams, play action golf. We get that O-line back to where it was or close to where it was, and the Detroit Lions are going to reclaim their glory of 2023, 2024 when it came to that O-line. Mike McDaniel know that, hey, I might have coaching candidates elsewhere, but a couple things to consider. Are you going to get the job? That's number one. While the Lions have scheduled to interview somebody, the Seahawks passing coordinator, are you going to get those jobs? Are the jobs the right fit? Why not interview with the Lions and put something on paper? Put something in their head so that even if they are thinking about going in a different direction, they keep coming back to me. But here's why I think this is it's a bigger deal than it might even appear. Mike McDaniel understands you do not get a third opportunity that often to coach in the National Football League. You might get a second. I mean, anybody that gets a first should be grateful. If you get a second one, that's highly unlikely, but it happens. A third one is even more rare. So Raheem Morris, he will be on his third time as coach. I think Todd Bowles have been the coach of a couple teams, the Jets, if I'm not mistaken, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there's a handful of teams. You could probably count them on maybe two hands that of coaches that have been a coach twice before in the National Football League, a head coach, and now have a third opportunity. You have to be really, really good or something really bad happened that it was like for instance, Mike Tomlin. If Mike Tomlin, he's not ever been a head coach before, but if he gets fired, he's going to be at the top of the list. Harbaugh can pick where he wants to go. I think Dan Campbell, if Dan Campbell got fired right now, I think there would be, of the 8 jobs open, I think at least half of them, including Miami, would be on Dan Campbell's head. That's just what I think. So if this is a big deal, and this is the guy that I think the Detroit Lions want, it's Mike McDaniel is the guy I think they want. And I'm going to tell you why too. Dan Campbell understands. I don't know about Brad Holmes yet. We're going to see about that very soon. Dan Campbell understands that this is a must-win year for the Detroit Lions. I have a video that I'm going to make talking more about Brad Holmes. And if you don't like it, you can watch anyone else. But Dan Campbell understands what has to happen this year. He understands the pressure. He understands the timely fashion in which they need to see results. And Mike McDaniel will go a long way to helping us reach the offensive creativity that we had under our former offensive coordinator. He might even be better. Because for all the creativity that our previous OC wanted to do, he got cute at times too. And he almost lost. He almost lost yesterday with all that creativity. So, breaking news. The Detroit Lions have expedited, in my opinion, the interview for Mike McDaniel for OC. They want to get ahead of him before he gets the head coaching, like as he's head coaching or interviewing for the Titans job and whoever else. He has, as he's interviewing with these guys, he understands, wait a minute, I just had a conversation with Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions. They got the perfect situation for me. I don't know if this situation is perfect. Let me fall back. Because Mike McDaniel, just like anybody being else going to their second head coaching job, they have to be extremely, extremely selective. One thing I can say about the Snake is that the Snake, he was smart. He was smart. Snakes are super smart. He was smart. He was smart. As a matter of fact, I actually found this out. Last weekend that Ben Johnson, there are a couple things, and I have to talk about this. I'm sorry, but not really. I actually found out that this is Ben Johnson's true form. Now, you guys have seen this picture before, but this is actually his true form. He is the epitome of a snake. And there are so many things I can go into, but I'll save that for a different video. But one thing that really ground my gears when it came to Ben Johnson was the fact that his mouth always seemed dry. Okay? He always seemed like he needs some water. I found out why. All I'll say is the faculty. I'll just say two words. If you know, you know. Okay? Ben Johnson's true form is this. But he's the past. The future is hopefully Mike McDaniel. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that the Detroit Lions are going to bring in, they're going to bring him for an interview? On a scale from 1 to 10, how likely do you feel that he's going to be our next OC? I'm convinced if he does not take a job with as a head coach, I think he will be the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, because you have the perfect springboard for a new head coaching opportunity. Come to Detroit, utilize this offense, get your name out there, just like our former OC was. You get your name out there, and you make yourself the hottest thing since the hottest thing. And then and while you do that, you pick an opportunity to head coach again. Just hopefully it's not in this division. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. What's up, y'all? Shout out to Braylon with the super chat. Says, oh, okay. No. All right, hold on. Dang, it disappeared. All right, hold on, B. Braylon with the super chat says, when it comes to Shepard, we've always said he could be a head coach elsewhere, so let him go. We need a proven DC on our staff. Paul with the super chat says, give McDaniel a blank check. I was coughing, y'all. I got a cough drop in my mouth. So where are we at when it comes to Calvin Shepard? To be very clear, I honestly believe that it's just a token black guy thing. I don't think that they have any intention on hiring Calvin Shepard. I don't think, like, I like the Rooney Rule. I like what the Rooneys were trying to do, but I also believe that it is all cap. It's all cap. I mean, you can, I think it was, who is it? Jerry Jones just said, we're not interviewing. We going to hire who we want to. We're not interviewing nobody. Go ahead and find me. He got fined or whatever it is. And he don't care. So it's not a real thing. They tried, but it's not a real thing. Bring back Jim Bob Cooter. That has to be a joke. Is that real? Are you serious? Kiera says Mike McDaniel runs a timing-based system, and that will be a perfect for golf. Plus the added speed on the roster. Let's see how this plays out. Roddy. It's okay, bro. We'll let him comment. He came in here with a little bit of respect. YouTube screwing with your lives. It keeps reminding and not staying current. I don't know what's up with that. So you hate that let me see. What? Okay, what is Robbie saying? Bear down. Okay, now, Roddy, you have to pay to comment. So you got in your feelings, bro. You turned Kiki on me. So now you got to pay to play over here. That's how that works. Okay, where we at? The only NFC North team that has, what? The Rams and Seattle winning. Texans are winning tonight. Yes, the Texans should win tonight. Okay. Spencer says if Mike goes to the wrong team, that is his last head coaching job he will ever have. He's young, and he's a young guy to be locked out of future head coaches. He should come to Detroit until the correct position open up. If you're serious the Lions will have to throw the fat bag at him if he doesn't take the Ravens job. Hey, so what? So what? Or throw the fat bag. Throw the line. Listen, and this ain't directed towards you, bro, but I'm about sick to death of hearing, I don't want to pay. You got to pay people. Yes, you have to pay people. If you are good, you have to pay, right? If you're good at something, let's say you're the best at what you do. If you're a plumber or a maintenance man or a handyman or a lawn landscaper or a pool cleaner, if you are great, you're going to charge market prices, but you can charge a little more. If people get what you pay for. So 100%, you threw the bag at Ben Johnson, throw it at Mike. But I think we also have something working to our advantage. One, we have Detroit, our offense, our coaching staff, what we've been doing in the past couple of years. And we also, what's bigger than that, though, is the fact that Mike McDaniel cannot make a mistake. Like Spencer said, if he gets a second head coaching job, is literally all you get usually. Usually all you get is 2. It is very, very rare that you get 3. Very, very rare. Hey, Derek, who do you have picking to win tonight? I am taking the Texans. In my opinion, Aaron Rodgers should be sacked about 10 times. It ain't no reason the Steelers should beat the Texans. None at all. At all. I tuned in at the right time with D Cooking. Why are fans complaining about paying? It's not their money. I don't know. I think that we've been burned a couple times with big name free agents. Did y'all know Mike McDaniel is black? He does he qualify for the Rooney Rule? Did not know that. Had no idea. So did not know. I don't know if there is who's commentating tonight. This is a Monday Night Football game, John. So it will be your profile picture is stupid. It will be Troy and Joe. Watching the Patriots defense last night showed not only what we need lockdown DBs and a tough D line, but speedy LBs. 53 Ellis was running Herbert down all night. And listen, I don't know if y'all pray. If y'all the type of people that pray, but if you do, okay, tonight before you go to bed, I need you to pray for Justin Herbert, okay? Pray for Justin Herbert that he can get up and walk tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Because what I saw yesterday, I was like, oh, wow, okay, he got up from that. It looks like, is it just me or is Justin about to be Matthew Stafford 2.0? He's got all the skills. He can move much better. He throws a great football, but his O-line is trash. And there's a bunch of injuries. Justin Herbert, was demolished yesterday. And the thing about him is he's so tough, man. He got a big old Mickey Mouse hand. He got a Mickey Mouse glove on his left hand. And he like, hoo, and he throwing the football, bro. I'm like, yo, Justin Herbert is a stud. He's going to go somewhere and win. He really is. I don't think it's going to be LA. I don't think it's going to be LA. I know he just signed a deal. I know he going to be there for a minute, but he's going to wind up leaving LA and going somewhere and absolutely destroying 100%. Now, Kiera says, had that man folded up, contorted, he looked like somebody from one of these horror movies you would watch. I was like, ooh, every time he got sacked. I saw him bent in half, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, he got up from that. He came back in. It was crazy, man. But real talk, Justin Herbert is in for, if I'm Justin, I go to Jim and I say, listen, man, I need your help. I want to be a Charger for life, but I need your help. I need you to get guys that can A, stay healthy, and B, like, you got to keep me up, brother. You cannot do you know that Justin Herbert threw what I think he's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts? He threw for 159 yards. Speaking of Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts to me is, I'm like, and I know we off subject, but I'm like, it ain't no way. If you don't bring in Saquon Barkley and Howie Roseman doesn't do what he does, the Eagles do not have a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is, to me, he is terrible, bro. Like, he is, I would prefer my current quarterback over Jalen Hurts. You can move all you want. Jalen Hurts, to me, I was watching yesterday's game, and I'm like, dog, people are wide open. Throw the ball. So, anyway, he's got a Super Bowl ring, so it really doesn't matter. Let me see. I never liked Mike in Miami. Maybe he has more proven as an OC, but he gets too cute like Snake Johnson. End of the season, they all hurting. Chargers need to go back to San Diego. Hey, bro, that's when they was good. Man, I miss the San Diego Chargers. Do you think if Mike goes to the Ravens head coaching job before he signs that he might be a head coach next season? Wait, do you think if Mike goes to the Ravens head coaching job before he signs that he might be a head coach next season? No, I don't think so. I don't think he will, because it's all about opportunity. It's all about opportunity. Ben Johnson, he waited for the perfect opportunity, so much so. And Ben Johnson, bro, that I do not like that man. You know who I think Ben Johnson reminds me of? The guy that you look at from afar and you be like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. Then you get to know him and you like, I hate that dude. Ben Johnson seems like the hate the dude guy. He is a chump, bro. And I think Ben Johnson himself, the person, is a chump. I truly believe that. Because if I'm Matt LaFleur, I'm trying to catch Ben Johnson outside. I'm just saying, to talk. I'm just saying. You run off. You barely shake my hand. You could have told me that to my face, bro. But you got to go to the locker room, scream what you scream. So for me, I'm going to write him. I'm going to hit him up on the phone like, yo, we need to talk. Let me holler at you. Ben Johnson is a sucker to me, bro. I have my respect, whatever respect I have for him, which is none. It is negative none now. Hurts is overrated 100%. Let me see. Jake Smooth says, what's up, man? I really hope we get McDaniel. I really do. I think we're going to get him. What up, Trees? What's going on, man? Jared is growing in his communications, it seems. Call them blocking assignments. If you are standing up there, man, we are in all 3-point stands since nothing. Do not let this man leave the building. Do you believe there's even an 18% chance that Kelvin just hit? No, I don't think so. I think negative 859,225. He's not getting a head coaching job. It's Aaron Glenn 2.0. Every year it was like, what black guy, what minority do we want to interview today? I know, Aaron Glenn. Look, he will not get a coaching job until he does. But he is going to be the next, because what you do is you interview a minority candidate, specifically a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. You don't do like passing game coordinators and all that. Speaking of somebody from us is interviewing for some job somewhere. I don't know. But no, I don't think he gets a job. To be fair, LaFleur did the same thing to Ben before, but I don't like Ben anymore. Did he do like that, bro? Ben was still running. He was still running, and it was just like that. Then it was like, dang, was that coach? I don't even know. Was that Ben? I couldn't even tell. I thought it was a snake slithering away. The Eagles could be upside down next season. Ooh, hey, Kiera. I don't know, because I wasn't watching the game. I was like turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, I really didn't care. I was watching but not watching. So I know some stuff happened on the sideline before the half, and then AJ Brown and then coach. So I don't know. But yes, I think there's going to be some change with the Eagles, this organization. Let me see. Logic. That's funny, Kyle. That is funny. Imagine if the Eagles land Mike McDaniel after they fired their OC. Dan Campbell hired compliance coaches last year, and now he needs to hire experienced coaches. Dan may be stubborn and not get someone proven, so he doesn't have to worry about them leaving. Okay, Kiera, and everybody else in the comment section, that's a great point. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because Dan Campbell has 2 years left. So Dan Campbell understands the sense of urgency. We got to win. We got to win. I said this on Syndicate Sports Detroit. Make sure y'all subscribe over there. We go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, talk Detroit Lions, some Detroit Pistons. We have live conversations. We was on today for an hour, 40 minutes. Dan Campbell understands ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody, this is not year 2. This is not year 3. This is not year 4, 5. You are going into year 6. You technically do not have a job in 2 years. You don't have a job in 2 years. So what you're saying, Kiera, is 100% accurate. But at the same time, you have to understand, as Dan Campbell, you do not have time. You don't have time. This is not a game anymore. Just like David Blau. I hope David Blau turns out to be phenomenal. I still don't think he was worth it here. Dan Campbell cannot get this wrong at all. Even if that's Mike McDaniel. But if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm like, yo, at least I tried. At least I tried. Because imagine if you bring David Blau here. Like I already hear Lions fans on Twitter talking about, well, imagine if David Blau turns out to be good. So what? Yippee-ki-yay. Okay, good for David Blau. I always liked him as a person. I did. But who cares? Okay, great. Great. Maybe we get him in a few years. I still would rather go out and not leave my fate in the hands of a non-experienced offensive coordinator. I mean, that's why if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm firing Kelvin Shepard for the right person. He gone, bro. I love you, Cal. I'll find something for you to do here. I'll find something for you to do. Or do you want to go somewhere else? But you got to understand, bro. Hey, I'm trying to win. I have to keep my job. And keeping my job might mean you don't keep yours. Come on, man. Let me see. If you think Logic become our OC, that he would stay more than one season. Yeah, okay. Yes, Kyle. The reason is, again, like I said before, you have to wait for the primary opportunity. Ben Johnson declined Carolina for a reason. So much so, they don't like him anymore. He declined Washington on the plane. So much so, they clowned him. Ben Johnson is every sense of the word a snake. Like he knew, to me, this is what I think. I think that he knew Eberflus was on his way out. Like, okay, if this is the job I want. So wait and see if this guy got fired. And if you ask my honest opinion, when Eberflus was fired, that's when Ben Johnson checked out from us. I'm just saying. That's just what I believe as a fan. I think Ben Johnson was already checked out. That's a 50-50 chance with Blau. He could be Johnny Morton 2.0. Yeah. I would much rather... If I'm going to take a risk, I would much rather take... If my job was on the line, I would much rather take a risk with somebody that has a proven track record and fail with them than go into it with David Blau or somebody else and not know. I mean, I don't know because I didn't see many Jets games. How does it look like Tanner did to you? Like, how did Tanner, and I remember Tanner, everybody thinks just because Ben Johnson worked that we can just continue to hire from within. Like, most of y'all saying, okay, ditch Shep for Brian Flores, ditch Shep for Raheem Morris, ditch Johnny Morton for Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll. You got to go get people that can win. And now Dan Campbell is in a situation where he has to win. That's it. Hey, Syndicate, my prediction of what our wide receiver roster looks like is coming. Wide receiver 1, St. Brown, 2, J-Mo, 3, Tesla, 4, Tom Kennedy, 5, Levette. It's just a prediction. What do you think? I think, of course, the first 3, absolutely. 4, Tom Kennedy has never made a 53-man roster, so I don't see that coming this year. And I also think that it's going to be some guys that they're going to bring out from the outside. So I don't, it's close, and I'm not knocking you, but I just don't see Tom Kennedy making a roster. He just never has. It's almost like Dan Campbell knows he's going to be there, so he's going to be on the outside. And Levette, I don't know. The Ravens' job is the biggest hurdle to the Lions landing McDaniel. Okay. All right. So if you're the Ravens, you need a pass rush. You want to make your quarterback happy. Derrick Henry, is he under contract still? He might be a free agent. Your defense needs an overhaul, right? You got Kyle Hamilton, but who else? Is Queen over there? So I could see that. I could see that. I could see that. I don't think the Titans are real. Okay, let me see. Browns, nope. Falcons, I would think like most threatening would probably be Ravens. Ooh, Ravens and Falcons. Titans and Browns, you would want to get fired if you go over there. I think Flores will be the Ravens head coach. Has he interviewed over there? Jay Smooth, I don't know. I didn't delete it, so I don't know. I don't know, bro. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Maybe it was not when I was making my segment. Do you think McDaniel will adapt to Dan Campbell's system well, or will they have disagreements on how to run the offense? You know what, man? I think that he'll adapt. I think he'll adapt. I don't think you'll hear much out of like from coming from there, because you got to understand. You got to look, everything you do, look at it like this. If Mike McDaniel takes the Lions job as OC, he must have felt that was the best decision for him right now. And you want to build your resume to get back. I mean, after all, you were fired. So you already, it doesn't matter how good you are, you were fired, right? So even John Harbaugh, as good as he was, he had one Super Bowl. That's it. 18 years, one Super Bowl. Tomlin is the next to go. He's the next to go in that situation. So, yeah, I don't know. L with the super chat says, are you going to do any mock drafts? All right, so appreciate the super chat. Let me tell y'all something about mock drafts. I think they're stupid, okay, in my opinion. I think that there's something to get us through the offseason. And anytime Mel Kiper does one, sure, I'll do it. Like I'll do who does Mel Kiper? Who is Mel Kiper anyway? I'll have me doing it for what? It's a waste of my time. Like there are things that I do that I enjoy. I don't enjoy mock drafting at all, because it's like, expect whether it was Brad Holmes, Bob Quinn, it doesn't matter. They are just fun, goofy things to do to me. And I'd rather bring in at least Mel Kiper. All he does is the draft. So he don't have the best track record, but I'd rather bring in him. I don't do mock draft. Look, I don't watch enough college football to be like this player and that player and that. I don't know. So, and look, I'll leave that up to the professionals. And to me, it's just like notice I don't do score predictions, because they're like, I don't know, it's going to be 27-24 and then it's 16-3 like yesterday. So I just think some things are dumb. Mock drafts is one of them. I just think that they're dumb. So that's just me, but appreciate the super chat. Basically being done to keys to this, basically will be giving Mike the keys to the Ferrari. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that Mike McDaniel has to make, so two advantages the Detroit Lions have. One, our offense. Two, Mike McDaniel has to get this right. And I think the Ravens could be appealing. I really do. But then you think about, okay, like, is he going to mesh with Lamar? You know what I'm saying? Then you got to consider how Lamar feels. Because apparently he's mad that the offensive coordinator got fired or something like that. Or I don't know. And then I'm hearing that Harbaugh is probably going to bring his OC with him. So I don't know, man. What about Cliff Kingsbury? Okay, so I don't know about Cliff, because he hasn't coached a non-mobile quarterback, right? As far as being a head coach. I don't know. I think the Detroit Lions might go a different direction than him. But we could see. Okay, do you think Dan Quinn is on the hot seat after this disaster season and his total mismanagement of the injuries of Jaden Daniels? Do I think he's on the hot seat? No. Would I be surprised if he was? No. Because you don't like Jaden. He's the coach, right? Jaden's like, I want to play. You are to say, you ain't about to play, bro. What? And then you get hurt coming back. So I think last year, his first year offset last year, and I think you got to let him start equal. If I'm the Commanders and I really did believe in him, I'd be like, okay, Fred, clean slate. I'll give you a clean slate right now. Whoever we bring in as OC, I want to see starters in the preseason so they can start getting comfortable with the offense sooner. You know what, Kara? I think that the Lions are going to have to be very careful with that. I would like to see that as well. And as we can understand, you don't have time to lose games. You cannot afford to lose games. If we would have beat Green Bay, we would have been playing for something in week 18. If we would have beat Minnesota, you cannot afford to lose any games. You can't. I mean, the Bears lost their first 2 and then won like 9 or 10 in a row. So I don't know. I agree that I would like to see some stuff as well. I can't believe David got an OC job. That's crazy. You know what, Jay? I can. My issue with David Blau was timing. I think that David Blau would have been super intriguing if this was year 2, if this was year 3. We're going into year 6. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not like, oh, shoot. My reaction was, hey, this is a chance we can't take. If you have to take a road trip, you're not going to take a jalopy. You might rent a car, right? If you don't trust your car, you're going to go rent a car, or you're going to try to get a car you can trust. If your car, you're like, you know what? I trusted to get me to the store and back, and that's about it. That's all you got. That's all your car can give you. David Blau is that. The Lions cannot afford to miss. Somebody asked me during Spike Kool-Aid. Really good time over there. Y'all need to come over there. We're going to start opening the phone lines up as soon as I get this system, everything working. We had a great conversation, and I'm going to tell you guys something that you are not going to want to hear. And I've alluded to this, but now I am all out of bubble gum. So watching football this weekend, I realized, I said, yo, the Lions, they're missing 2 things, talent and speed on defense. Get the ball. If one person ain't there, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all there, right? Stuffed at the line of scrimmage, barely getting any yardage. I'm like, they got speed. They got people who are talented, can actually make a tackle. I'm going to say something, and I want to be the first to say it. I am pretty much, I'm like 90% done with Brad Holmes. 90%. I'm 90% done with him. He has one option this year. He needs to get the Detroit Lions to a NFC championship game, and we lose because a freakish accident, or somebody or the kicker, Cameron Little, I think his name is traded to whatever team we're playing, and he kicks a 71-yarder, and we lose. Outside of that, I am 90% done with Brad Holmes. And I am expecting him, I hate to say it, I'm expecting him to fail. I really am. I have no issue. No, you know what? I don't hate to say it. I'm expecting him to fail. And here's why. And this is why I'm 90% done with Brad Holmes. You are already on, Brad Holmes is now on bonus time. He's on time that he earned by way of extension. So this year, he starts his extended time. So he's on overtime, if you will. You had an opportunity to make this team better, and you didn't. And then on top of that, you get up there, and you're super smug. Oh, how many teams in the National Football League? 32, right? Like you don't know. Like we don't know. How many this? How many that? Why are you asking me these questions? Is it because blah, 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 blah? So in year 2023, 2024, you had got this smug attitude. We go into 2025, and you say, what you're doing is working. We're not going to change. All right. And a lot of you missed the point of the David Montgomery video the other day. Why would I want Brad Holmes fired if you traded away David Montgomery? Because I am convinced that you don't know what you're doing. That's why. I am convinced of that. You don't know what you're doing. You might have lucked out, if you will, more than you actually know. Because how do you draft Broderick Martin? How do you trade up for Broderick? No world would that make sense. You can't explain it. But the GOAT, general manager, the biggest miss is Broderick Martin. So then you also failed the offensive line. It wasn't because we didn't try. There was a lot of things we tried to do in free agency. You know what really talks is money. That's what really talks. And that's also cap. You know why? Because you paid St. Brown, you paid Jared Goff, you paid Penei Sewell, you paid Taylor Decker, you paid Aleem McNeil, you paid people that you paid Hutch, you paid Jameson, you paid Kirby. So you do what you want to do. What you didn't want to do is pay other people. What you decided to do is reinvest in Marcus Davenport, and then was surprised when he didn't play. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, all off season, we heard this man speak and we heard him talk. And on top of that, and here's where like, I'm done. I draw the line. Brad Holmes, you trade for Zadarius Smith. I don't care that Zadarius retired because who knows what he would have done if he was here. You trade for Zadarius Smith knowing he was under contract, and you chose to cut Zadarius in favor of Levi Onwuzurike and Marcus Davenport. And in the time that Zadarius Smith was with the Eagles, he did more or equal to both of them. Why did you do it? You did it because maybe you don't know what you're doing. You did it because you like to go. This is what you do. All the dollar store references I was making and the bargain being referenced, all the stuff I was saying came true. It came true. The only thing is that I think we were top 5 in sacks. We ended top 5 in sacks. But y'all know, just like I know, all them sacks wasn't created equal. Sacks still gonna win you games. If you watch Stafford getting sacked, losing the ball, Stafford, look, sacks will eventually win you games. 9 times out of 10, you're going to win because of a sack. Or you can be like the Detroit Lions. You get a whole bunch in bunches. You get bunches and bunches. So, and now, if you notice, during the press conference, he brought up Al-Qadim Muhammad, like, I'm not going to be able to pay him. And I know, it's not that I'm not going to be able to. I don't want him. And here's another thing, too. What's up, Master Chief? Love it, bro. I love it. What's up, Troy? What's good with you, man? So here's another thing, too. Think about the corner that his arrogance put us in. Shout out to Troy. Troy is the one that was on camera talking about Brad Holmes with the pass rush. You had opportunity, right? So Brad Holmes in his presser said there was an inkling. It wasn't like they were blindsided by Frank retiring. You weren't blindsided. So you didn't. All you hear from Brad Holmes is, I tried to do this. I tried to do that. So now, as we go into year 6, your offensive line is in shambles. Your defensive line has 5 people on it. Your secondary is all ravaged except one person. You need a new, Alex Anzalone is leaving, right? I think that it's going to be too much for Brad and Dan. That's what I think. I think this year is they went from on top of the mountain to now all of a sudden completely overwhelmed. You're going to need a right tackle or a left tackle. You're going to need a center. You're going to need a whole new D-line. You might need 3 out of 4 secondaries. We don't know if Kirby, we don't know if Brian, we don't know if Terrion's going to be able to go and to what extent they're going to have. I think, so that's why I am 90% done with Brad Holmes. I'm simply waiting on him to fail because you did all that talking, you had your opportunity, and you didn't do it. You went and got the equivalent of, you re-signed Marcus Davenport. Eagles got 2 all-pro CBs in 1 draft. We got a decent CB and another who doesn't even play. This could be a reach, but I didn't like him trading up to get Manu, and there was no type of tape on him. We could have got some that was already proven. CV says, I don't think free agents want to come here. If you're not a Brad draft pick, you're not going to get taken care of. Look at Zadarius, Carlton Davis, Zeitler, and now Monty. Yo, that is a bar. That's a bar. So we went from, that's another reason I could have a problem with him. The only guy he really takes care of is Goff. That's really it. So y'all want to get mad at Goff? Get mad at Brad. I told you that. Brad treat Goff like he was one of his own. Let me see. I have always felt that his assistant GM Ray Agnew is the actual hold up because he handles player personnel. I think Brad puts way too much trust in him. Wow. Side note, I can't stand Rodgers. He is insufferable. Is the game on? Are they playing right now? Oh my God. I didn't even realize it was that late. Is the game on right now? Okay. Wesley says, Derek, you undervalue AQM. We don't need a new D-line. Wesley, first of all, no, that is incorrect. One, I give AQM the exact credit he deserves. He is in bunches. AQM, he needs to show up more consistently. Did he have a career year? Yes. Kudos. Did he show up consistently? No, he did not. Secondly, we do need a whole new D-line because AQM is not under contract. See, if you're going to come to me, bro, you got to come correct. AQM is not under contract. There are 5 Detroit Lions, 5, that are under contract on the D-line. Can you name them? Probably not. All right? So, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't undervalue anybody. I was right about Marcus Davenport. I was right about AQM. He is sporadic. And yes, we need a whole new D-line. No DJ Reader, no Davenport, no Pascal, no Levi. No, I'm telling you, go look. We don't. Joe says we missed out on so many good pass rushers last year. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Brad didn't want them. There is a difference. There is a difference, bro. And you know I'm being sarcastic. No, we didn't. Brad made choices. That's why I am 90% done with him, because he made these choices. But during the press conference, hey, it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of paperwork stuff that y'all just can't see. You know what Dan Miller said today? I saw this. This is the part I couldn't remember. Dan Miller said on a show last night, he was with Wojo and Will Birchfield. And he said, I wish that Brad could have taken a little more of, he liked to play stuff behind this, close to the chest. He could have said how he planned to do this and how he planned to do that. But he hides behind, what did he call it? Strategical advantage. So absolutely not. My patience for Combat said Brad made 0 moves at the trade deadline, by the way. So if you go and you look at that, see, ladies and gentlemen, this is not, I woke up and came to this epiphany. It is years of watching Brad Holmes crash outs. It is, you can go check the tape. It is years of me saying the same thing. I want you, look, after this stream is over, if you're not watching Monday Night Football, the playoff game, I want you to go to my channel and type in Lions Syndicate pass rush. All the videos that I've made about the pass rush are there. Watch them. Pick any one of them and watch them. And you're going to be like, dang, he was right. He was right. No lie. As a matter of fact, pick one on Davenport. Watch the very first one from 2024. Watch any one on Marcus Davenport and come back and tell me I was wrong. Levi Pascal. Let me see. Okay, the game is on. Okay, we'll wrap up in a few then. Look, 5 minutes into the first, dang, bro, I don't care nothing about that game. I don't care nothing about that game, bro. If the Pistons was playing, I would watch them, but they don't play till Thursday. I don't care nothing about that except Aaron Rodgers losing. We need a pass rush, period. Hey, Master Chief, yes, we do. And notice I haven't talked about it anymore because we need an O-line more. We need an O-line more. Like, meaning without an O-line, you get Justin Herbert 2.0. And if Goff get hit like Herbert, we're done. We're done. So if Brad lets that happen, then we're done. We need a center. We need to figure out what's happening with the guard position. And you know what? I just got the sign that I need to get off because I'm upgrading my computer this year, and the memory like runs out or whatever when I have the browsers open. So it'll give me a not enough memory thing. Okay, let me go to YouTube Studio because now I'm missing the chat. But the next computer, I'm super excited about it. Okay. What's up, Pyro? So somebody asked something about Brad's arrogance. I wanted to read that real quick, and then we'll get off. What's up, Raw? Raw says, will Brad grab Ojabo, Aziz, Boye Mafe, Hendrickson, Mack, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Phillips? Who will pick up? Resign Al Qadim? Will he do? Bro, I'm going to say only one out of that whole thing is Muhammad. That's it. He passed on Leonard Floyd. He passed on almost all of them. There was a point in time that he could have got one of them guys through trade, free agency, and he said nothing. He didn't do anything. Okay, it was something about, Lions fan, this will be the last question of the day. How cocky do you think Brad Holmes feels seeing the Eagles make a trade for Jalen Phillips and they got out in the first round? Eagles have made moves, but have sucked this year. Lions fan, if he feel cocky at all, he need to be fired. He need to be fired. Listen, Brad Holmes, Howie Roseman, Super Bowl champion. Brad Holmes, a wannabe. That's it. It's you either a Super Bowl champion or you're a wannabe. That's it. You want to be a Super Bowl champion or you are one. So if Brad does feel cocky, they didn't lose because of Jalen Phillips or because they traded for him or didn't. They lost because their quarterback is trash. I'm sorry. I've seen enough of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not the guy. That's it. He is not the guy, bro. You want to call somebody a quarterback manager? It is no reason. You got Devontae Smith. You have Dallas Goedert. You've got A.J. Brown, whether he dropped passes or not. And you have, in a playoff game, 168 yards. You got one of the best offensive lines in football. Saquon Barkley won them the Super Bowl. It was not Jalen Hurts. There's no reason that you should throw less than 200 yards. You know you can bank on Jared Goff to throw for 225 every single game, 10 out of 10.10 times. I'm like, dog, he's open. He's open. Throw the football. He's open. Nope. They was clowning him yesterday. Like, here's your read. This guy is open. He too panicky in the pocket, bro. I don't care that he can run. Jalen Hurts. So if Brad is sitting up there, wait a minute, what you laughing for? Last year, this team, first of all, that team beat you with Jalen Phillips on the roster. Secondly, that team won a Super Bowl. So if Brad does feel cocky, he needs to be fired. If he feel cocky for that reason, he needs to be fired tonight. What are you laughing? What is so funny? Brad Holmes has no reason to be cocky. The Jahmyr Gibbs positional value villain is over. It is over. Jahmyr Gibbs is going into year 4. All that's over, bro. So I hope if he is, then that tells me everything I need to know. Derek McNeil's contract needs to be restructured as well. Yes. Did I mention him? Hold on. Troy, what Troy say? Troy says Saint and Goff need to restructure, add cap space 100%. 100%. What you say? You said, agree if they really want to win a Super Bowl. Yes, they will. What's up, Mike? Mike with the super chat says, hey, bro, love you, Derek. Keep up the great work, and I think you should go live for Pistons game one time and know this is Lions Syndicate. Yes, but I got another channel for that, Mike. I can go live over there. Calling basketball is a lot harder than calling football because it moves a lot faster, but yeah, I appreciate that, man. But listen, Mike McDaniel, big news. Watch football tonight. See what you don't want to do. See what you do want to do, right? Let me ask y'all this. Do you think that Mike Tomlin will be relieved of his duties if they lose tonight? I think it might be time. It might be time for the Steelers to move on. You get a new quarterback, get a new coach. It might be time, man. You can't, it's been almost 2 decades, 1 Super Bowl. Sometimes you got to let stuff go, bro. You really do. So I don't know if the Rooneys will probably not do that. I mean, after all, they don't do stuff like that. What has it been? 3 head coaches in 50 years. So I don't know. Maybe what if they drop Tomlin with Harbaugh? That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, and we'll wrap up the show. Brad Holmes, to me, is out of time. He's out of time. I don't know. I think that we are really going to see who Brad Holmes, I'm talking about not who Brad Holmes is, we already don't know. But Brad Holmes has to perform a slight miracle. Like he was saying, I don't think it's we have to tear it down and we got to. I don't. But if you look at the roster, it low key is. It low key is. Your defense is completely gutted. You've got 3 out of your 4 starting secondary players are coming off season-ending injuries. You're losing Malcolm Rodriguez, Alex Anzalone, right? Your defensive line is straight up depleted. Under contract is Lacey, McDaniel, Wingo, Tyleek Williams, and Aiden Hutchinson. Those are your 5 guys under contract. Outside of the future reserves or whatever he did with, what's his name? Ahmed. Those are your 5 guys. So, for me, Brad, we really gonna see. Are you truly him? Because now you got a lot of work to do, bro. And if Taylor Decker retire, you don't have a 3rd round pick. You got to find a center. If the Lions were truly about winning, they would try to sign Linderbaum. They would try to sign a pass rusher. Or they take one in the 1st round. Only pass rusher they took was Hutch, and that's because he fell in his lap. The closest pass rusher to him was, Levi, Pascal. So we'll see. But now for Brad Holmes to really earn the GOAT that everybody was ready to give him, we really going to see what he can do now. Remember, it's easier to pick. He said winning the headline in March is easy. That's easy. Remember, he was talking about picking early in the draft is easy. But it's really when you picking later and mid to late. If you ain't, bro, you have failed. You have failed. Terrion is a failure. And I'm just giving it a buck. Quinyon Mitchell was like, He was all over the place yesterday. Failure. Terrion's a failure. Ennis. I'm talking about refried beans, bro. This brother is in the frying pan. Failure. Doesn't mean they can't turn it around. Failure. We go down the list. Failure. Levi Onwuzurike. Failure. Josh Pascal. Failure. You can just go down the list. Failures all the way around. Okay? I'm just saying. Go check the tape. It's facts. But, all right, y'all. Enjoy Monday Night Football, and I will see you tomorrow. Check out Syndicate Sports Detroit. You won't regret it.